Hello and welcome to the Evolvepreneur Secrets Show for entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Brian Silverthorne, and it's my mission to help entrepreneurs make the difference they want in their business and to navigate the often messy worlds of startup and growth or relaunch. And today we're going to dig deep with our guest and get you some great concepts and strategies to fast track your business. And our guest today is Claudia Neal-Shaw, and she is a ex-lawyer turned entrepreneur who now specializes in helping female entrepreneurs with their marketing. So welcome to the show, Claudia.
Thank you so much, Brian. Really nice to be here.
Good to have you. So where are you hanging out today?
I am in Sydney, Australia this morning, reporting live from my home office.
Good. That's a pretty part of the world.
Very pretty.
That I only know from pictures. I've never been there, but maybe one of these days.
We welcome you anytime.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we got some questions to ask. We're going to do this in 10 minutes, starting now. So the first question is, what caused you to get into this particular business?
I've always loved small business. Both my parents are business owners, and I always felt very drawn to working for myself from an early age. But I had to follow the traditional path first to discover that business really was the right space for me. So I studied law and communications, specializing in marketing. And after working in the corporate world, I really identified that a lot of people who work in corporates never have to actively market themselves or build a personal brand. And the thing that I loved most doing was teaching people how to communicate their message and their very unique values. So I decided to open up a very traditional consulting business where I would help small businesses get their message really clear, know how to approach their ideal customer, and ideally work with more of the people that they want to. So I've now been working in this business for the last 4 years, very specifically working with female entrepreneurs, and I love doing it.
Great, great. Well, you mentioned ideal client. Who is your ideal client?
My ideal client are female entrepreneurs who have a very traditional corporate background. So they're ex-lawyers, accountants, professional services, and they've decided to go out on their own into their business because they know they've got a great skill set and they know that they can help people in a way that allows them to do business on their own terms rather than sticking to a very rigid and traditional format. So female entrepreneurs, service-based businesses, and they're really looking to get their message out there to the people that matter the most to them.
No, that is a very clear definition. That's good.
Oh,
So what's the main problem that you solve for them?
The main problem is that because often these entrepreneurs have come from this traditional background, they've actually never had to market themselves before. They've been a cog in a big machine, in a big corporate marketing machine, and suddenly they've gone out on their own where they are the face of their business. And they've never been taught how to communicate what that message is that is really going to bring the right people into their business, what kind of marketing activities they need to start implementing in their business so that they can get their message out there. So the problem that I solve is teaching them how to communicate in a way that feels really great and gets rid of that icky, selly feeling that we often have when putting our personal brand out there.
Okay, great. So everybody's usually got symptoms that they're experiencing before they reach out for help. So what are the most common symptoms your clients have?
The most common symptoms are working with people that they don't like. So clients come through the door, prospective clients, and they go, "Oh, it's business. I've definitely got to work with these people," because when we first go out on our own, it's that catch-22 of wanting to get very busy, but also wanting to make sure that they're the right kind of people that you're working with. So I think a very common symptom for people about 12 to 18 months into their business is that suddenly they're super busy, they're exhausted, they're overworked, they're working more hours than they ever worked in their corporate job, and it's all with people that they don't like, and they start to resent the work. So that's when I tend to find people reach out saying, "I know my ideal clients out there, I just don't know who they are, and I don't know how to attract them into my business."
Yeah, that's a very common situation in the entrepreneur world. But
Yes.
once you figure out that it's your business, you can decide who you want to do business with.
Exactly. It's an
Yeah,
amazing revelation and getting that clarity. And I think being courageous to be very specific about who you want to work with and not feel like you're rejecting a whole other group of people who you could work with. You've got a very specific skill set, solving a very specific problem for a very specific group of people.
right. It's just taking the time to find them.
Exactly.
Well, we're moving along good here. We got about 5 minutes left. So, other than working with the wrong people, are there any other common mistakes you discover once you start working with a client?
Absolutely. I think one of the most common mistakes is when we think about marketing, we think that we have to be on every platform doing every marketing activity instead of really singling in on the 2 to 3 really core activities that are going to make the most difference to our business and also to the lives of our ideal clients. So, for example, a lot of people who come to me, they work in professional services and they suddenly think, okay, I've got to be on every social media platform instead of actually saying, where do my ideal clients hang out? And what kind of information do they like to receive? How do they like to be communicated with? And so the clearer that we start to get on how our ideal client behaves, how they want to receive information, how they want to interact with you, it suddenly starts to weed out the different platforms and different activities that are no longer relevant to them. And so the people who choose to really master 2 to 3 key activities and platforms are the people that I see really succeed and have cut through in a very, very noisy market.
Excellent. You gotta stay focused
Absolutely.
to make things work correctly. So, if
Absolutely.
someone's considering reaching out to you for some help, what's one action that they can take now to maybe get started? Won't solve all their problems, but it'll help them out to get moving in the right direction.
I always say to people, the best way to get to know whether someone can help you is to find them online. The best way to find me is at my Instagram, Claudia.Neal-Shaw. There is so much free education, content, ways that I support my clients that you can start implementing in your own business today. And I, as a business owner, look for those kinds of people who inspire me, who motivate me, who educate me online as well. So I would really encourage any female entrepreneurs to reach out to me, have a conversation, come and get a feel for who I am and the kind of content that I put out there.
Excellent. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff that people do with the written word, but from my point of view, a good conversation is the best way to get to know somebody and determine if there's going to be a good fit.
Exactly. And that's all marketing is. It's a conversation with someone and really understanding what are the things that motivate them and what's happening in their business. And those are some of the best relationships that I've formed over the years, just starting conversations with people.
Right. Well, we got a couple of minutes left and we got a couple of questions left. So, since all entrepreneurs have challenges, even those that have been around for a while and are making a lot of money, what, if any, is the biggest challenge that should be addressed in your business?
I think as a business owner, you really have to keep working on your mindset all the time, because what got you from the first point in your business to the second isn't going to be the same journey that gets you from the second point to the third. So I really am very focused on continuing to learn from other people, whether it's things like learning how to get constant cash flow into your business, learning how to do a TED talk to a particular kind of audience, whatever the area of expertise that you need support with, surround yourself with the right people so that they can deliver that information to you and you can learn from them. And all of those, things like managing the finances in my business after being an employee for a long time, figuring out how I structure my timing and my schedule to get the most out of my day. They're all things that you'll continue to come up against in your business. And it's just about being really willing to learn and ask questions of other people.
Excellent, excellent advice. So, is there a question that I should have asked that I didn't get around to asking?
I think something that a lot of my clients ask me is how they can really start to show up online in a way that feels very authentic and truthful, rather than looking at everyone else online and thinking, gosh, I've got to do all of the things. So if there's just like one tip that I can give people if they do want to show up online a bit more candidly, a bit more truthfully, is to approach every piece of content or conversation as a story, that you are sharing a story with other people so that they can see themselves in the picture that you're creating, the setting that you are establishing. Because that's how humans connect with each other. We want to connect with someone else who has had a similar experience to us or is going through that same experience. So storytelling is queen, always.
Yeah, long before the written word, that's how things got passed down, was storytelling. So,
Exactly.
and it works when you're teaching people. If there's a story connected to it, they have a tendency to remember it better than just straight statistics and data and that good stuff. So I think
Absolutely.
that's
Nobody remembers the jargon. They remember the story and they tell other people that story. So it's
right.
a really beautiful way for people to connect, whether that's in our personal lives, in our businesses, in the impact that we're creating in the world.
That's great advice and an excellent way to end this podcast. So that's a wrap for another great guest podcast here for the Evolvepreneur Secrets Show for entrepreneurs. And just before you leave, if you liked it, please give us a 5-star review and maybe share it with a couple of friends. And if you want to make sure that you stay tuned with all the new podcasts coming up and catch up on the old ones, go to evolvepreneursecrets.show. And if you're an entrepreneur and you got a great idea, let's get it out there today.